Hey there, this is Akshay Madan and welcome back to another video, and in this video we are going to create a simple WebSocket server in Golang. This video is for beginners who are just starting out with the backend journey and they have chosen Golang as their programming language. So in the last video where I created a simple server in Golang, there we created some HTTP routes where client can connect to the server through a HTTP route, whether it is a get call, post call, it can be put call, delete call also, right? So I hope you know some things about REST framework. Okay. So what is WebSocket? What exactly does this provide? What is the significance of a WebSocket server? So first of all, you need to understand that in our system, we have a client, right? This client can be a mobile device. It can be a web device, desktop, tablet, iPad, right? So wherever the request comes is called a client. And similarly, we have a server. The server that currently we are creating in Golang. It can be Node.js, it can be Python, Flask, Spring Boot, Ruby, Rust, anything it can be, right? So this is a server. Okay. So what happens typically, the client creates a request and a client gets a response. So basically the client is generating a request and this request goes to the server, and the server does something. It talks to database, it does something, anything it can do, and it returns a simple response, right? So this is how the normal flow of a API call is, right? And during this request and response, what happens? An HTTP connection is built between a client and server. For every API call, you need to build a HTTP connection, right? So I can say that this is a simple HTTP connection, right? So this is an HTTP connection. So HTTP connection gets built when there is a new request and it gets closed once the response is returned, right? So this is a normal HTTP connection. The problem is for certain use cases, this HTTP connection cannot be rebuilt again and again. For example, I'll just give an example. Let's say WhatsApp. Okay, in WhatsApp, what happens? Let's say you send a message to your friend. Okay, now whenever you're typing something, right, or whether you're online or not, right? Let's take the example of being online or not, right? So whenever your friend is online, you see him or at the top of the WhatsApp window that online tag, right? Now, how does the server determine that whether your user, another user, user 2 is online or not, right? So one thing that can be there, that client 1. So in that case, what will happen? We will have three things, right? We will have three things. There will be one more client, right? This client will be your client 2. That means your user 2. Okay. And we have a client 1, which is your user 1. Now both of them are going to consume the same server. Now if I want to know whether my client 2 is sitting online or not, the simple process is whether the user is using the mobile phone or not, whether the user is using the WhatsApp app or not, right? But the hard part is I need to continuously know whether my client 2 is sitting online or not, right? Once the client 2 drops, I should also be notified that the online tag should go away, right? So for this thing, either I can use polling. So in polling, what happens? Every second or every 2 seconds, I can keep pinging my server. That, hey, is my client 2 online? 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 And when always server returns true, right? But whenever the server finds out that client 2 is not sitting online, then it will return false. But you know, like for just a simple online thing, online or offline thing, I need to keep pinging my server, right? And every time I'm pinging my server, I need to make an API connection, HTTP connection with my server, right? So this becomes a bit costly and it is going to increase load on my server, because let's say there are 1 million users sitting online, right? And so for every user is going to ping my server that whether the client 2 or the users with which they are talking with are online or not. So for every time I need to build an HTTP connection, and this is not bi-directional also, right? Data can only flow in one direction. In this HTTP connection, what will the data flow? First, the data will flow from client to server through request, and then it will flow from server to client through the response body, right? So request body and response body, right? But in a WebSocket connection, so what happens? This HTTP connection can be upgraded, right? So this was a simple HTTP connection. So using WebSocket, what we can do, we can upgrade this HTTP connection to a WebSocket connection, right? So this is a simple upgrade, right? So now what will happen? This client and this client or any number of clients can create a bi-directional connection with my server. So something like this. So this is a client. Now it's a bi-directional connection with my server using WebSocket. In simple HTTP, it was unidirectional, but now it's bi-directional, right? So similarly over here, it will be a bi-directional connection with my server. So what happens whenever my client 2 comes online, it will connect with my server, right? Now the connection is built. Now the connection will not drop till the client 2 goes offline or not, or till the client 2 disconnects with the socket server or not. Now this is a socket server, right? Similarly, when client 1 comes, it builds a WebSocket connection with my server, and in that WebSocket connection, it also finds out whether my client 2 is sitting online or not, right? Now the data can flow bidirectional. As soon as the client 2 drops, client 2 is not there now, server will automatically tell client through an event that, hey, client 2 is gone. You can remove the online tag. So in this way, what happened? Client 1 did not have to ask explicitly to my server whether my client 2 is sitting online or not. So as soon as server got to know that client 2 is not sitting online, server automatically sent an event to client, right? That, hey client, you don't worry, you sit with chill, you chill, right? As soon as client 2 will go away, I will tell you that client 2 is not there and online tag can be removed. Similar concept is there in typing status or not, right? Whenever my client 1 starts typing on the WhatsApp or on the keyboard, client 1 notifies my server, and server notifies to all the other clients in the group. You know, there is a WhatsApp group, right? It notifies to all the people in the WhatsApp group that client 1 is writing something. So show typing. So let's say Ajay is writing or Akshit is writing, like that. Ajay is typing, Akshit is typing, like that, right? And whenever client 1 stops typing, it will notify the server, and server will automatically notify all my clients. All my clients do not need to make an HTTP connection with my server to know whether someone is writing or not, right? So this is the advantage of a WSS connection over an HTTP connection, right? Similar concept is used in Google Docs, where 2 or 3 people are collaboratively working on a simple document, right? So you can see arrows. In Figma also you can see arrows, right, of each other, cursors you can see. So that also occurs using WebSockets itself. Messenger, Discord, Slack, all the major famous chat applications which work with a huge scalability, they are built over WebSocket itself. Okay, now let's see how in Golang you can simply upgrade a server, simple HTTP connection to a WSS connection, and how events and states work. Okay, so in the previous video we created this first server. Now I'm going to create a simple another project folder, WebSocket server. Okay, in this create main.go. Okay, now in this define package main, we already saw what's the meaning of this package main in the previous video. Now import some of the packages, import fmt, then import HTTP, so net/HTTP, and then you need to import time. Why time? I'll let you know. Then you need to import WebSocket package. So you need to import using a GitHub repository. So github.com/Gorilla. What is the use of Gorilla? I'll tell you. And WebSocket. So Gorilla is just like Express, if you can think of, in Node.js. Basically, it helps us to write structured API routes. Then it helps us to detect the type of the API call. It helps us to write the JSON responses easily. So it does a lot of things, right? It handles all the API routing stuff for your Go project, right? So that's what Gorilla is for. Now the next thing is you need to define an upgrader, because you need to upgrade from HTTP to WSS. So var upgrader is equal to WebSocket WebSocket.upgrader WebSocket.upgrader, and in this you need to define check origin. So basically this we are defining from where do we want to let the request come. So for now we want to let it come from anywhere. So allow origin will be true, right? Anywhere it can come. So check origin and a simple function, and the request, which is going to be an HTTP request, HTTP.request, and boolean will be true. So return true. Okay, so return true, and this will be like this. and I think this upgrader is done. So let's just format it. Now the next thing that you need to do is, oh, okay, one more thing, one mistake over here. This will be curly brackets, and this will be curly brackets. Okay, now you can see the error is also gone. Perfect. After upgrader, you need to define your main function. Okay, so in this, define an handler function. For this handle function, my route will be WS, sorry, not WSS, WS, and I need to define a function which handles my WebSocket connection. So handle WebSocket. I'll define this function later. Okay. Now say fmt dot println which says WebSocket server started. WebSocket server started. Okay. And the next thing is, if something goes wrong, so if just a second, yes, if error is there in http dot listen and serve on port 8080, handler is nil for now. So if my error is not equal to null, then I can say fmt dot println error starting server. Okay, and you can also show your error, and this will be like this. Okay, great. Now you can define your handle WebSocket function. So what happens when your HTTP connection is upgraded to WebSocket connection? Okay, so function handle WebSocket, and there will be a response writer. So http dot response writer, and there will be a request r/http dot request. So there will be a connection. So let's store it in con variable connection, and it can also go wrong. So error. Right, now use upgrader to upgrade HTTP to WS. Upgrader dot upgrade, and define your response writer, then your request, and then you define your nil. So this is for handling. Okay. Now if my error is not equal to nil, that means something goes wrong. Then you need to say fmt dot println error upgrading connection. Okay, and you can define your error, whatever came. Okay, and then you can return and come out of the function. Okay, defer connection dot close. Can close the connection. Now the next thing is, if everything is good, then client dot connected, println client connected. If some new client got connected to my server without any issue, then you need to start reading your messages, because this will be a like continuous connection. You don't need to build the connection or make a connection every time. So you can use a for loop, and it will run infinitely till you close the connection. Okay, so for and continuously the events will start coming from the clients, and you can also send events to your clients. Okay, so it's a bi-directional. So it's a message type. Okay, then what's the message inside that connection? Every event will have certain message, and some error can also come. Okay, so if connection dot read message. So if new message comes from my client that hey, some client left, or some new person is typing, right? Then connection dot read message. And if my error is not equal to null, then fmt dot println like this, and you can say error reading message. Okay, and you can define your error, and this will be if. Okay, if no error is there, then I can proceed, right? I can say message received, fmt dot println message received. Okay, and whatever message came, you can convert it to string and show your message. Okay, perfect. Now for now this is not for ideal case, but just to test, as soon as a new event comes, I will have a delay of around 3 seconds. So time.sleep, maybe like during this time server is connecting to database, bringing some data or doing anything, and then I'm again going to send one more event to all of my clients. So 3 into time.second, 3 into time.second, right? And after this 3 seconds, so this is 3 seconds, I'm going to send a event from the server to the client. So previously this message that came was from the clients to the server. Now server to client, so bidirectional, right? So next thing will be, if any error comes in sending a message to the clients, this will be connection dot write message. Previously it was read message, right? So write message, define a message type, similar message type that came from my request, same message that came from my request, and if error is not equal to nil, then do this, and otherwise if any issue comes, fmt dot print ln error writing message, right? And whatever error came, define your error. Okay, and after that, if anything goes wrong, then you can break the for loop and come out of it. Okay, this is a simple WebSocket server. We used upgrader and we created a simple handler function which handles the WebSocket connection. It creates a connection, it closes the connection, it reads the message, it writes the message. That's the main purpose of a WebSocket server. Okay, now you need to install this Gorilla package and WebSocket package, which is present inside Gorilla itself. So I can use go get github.com/gorilla/WebSocket. Go added GitHub Gorilla WebSocket. So now it should work ideally. Or let's see what is the issue. Fix using Copilot. Okay, yeah, I think it's working. Go get GitHub. Okay, I think I used this only. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm still inside first server, so my mistake. So cd go back and cd WebSocket server, and then you do that. Go get Gorilla. So there is some issue. Go mod. Okay, I need to initialize a new Go project. So go mod init. And what is the issue? Go mod. Okay, sorry. Go mod init WebSocket server, right? So WebSocket server, and then I can define go mod go get Gorilla WebSocket. Now you can see it's added and the error is also gone. Perfect guys. So this is done. Now let's open Postman. Allow, and let me create a new HTTP. No, I will create a WebSocket connection, and for this let me run my server. So let me see if my first server, I think first server is switched off. Okay, now I can say go run main.go. So it should run. WebSocket server connected, allow. So you can see WebSocket server started. Now I can go ahead and write my URL. So it starts from WS and it will be localhost port 8080. Try to connect. So there is some issue. I think it was WS. Oh yeah. So you can see this was my route, and you can see my WebSocket server is my WebSocket server is connected to my client. So over here I don't have any app, I don't have any web app. My client over here is my Postman itself. Okay, now I want to write a message. So let's say I will write message. Okay, I'll define hello world like this. So if I send hello world, 3 seconds, after 3 seconds, you see I get hello world back. So my WebSocket server is working fabulously, right? It works without any issue. If I write any other message, let's say I write, hello G, how are you? How are you? And you send, wait for 3 seconds and you'll get this message back. You can see it is sending me back. So like this, you see, we just build one connection, right? I just connected to my WebSocket server. And after that, you are sending so many messages to my server, and server is also sending you messages back. But you are not building the HTTP connection again and again and again. It works with just one simple connection. So this is the significance of WebSocket. If you want to learn more about this, let me know in the comment section what exactly you want to learn. And till then, if you want the code is available on GitHub in the repository for free, and you can check that out. Do follow me on the LinkedIn. Reach out to me on LinkedIn if you have any concern. And if you want to learn anything, if you want to talk to me, you can connect me on LinkedIn. So till the next video, keep coding, keep innovating, and thanks a lot.